Hi, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Inside Tiger Football presented by Rib Crib. I'm Charlie Hannema, joined by the head coach of the 10-0 Broken Arrow Tigers, David Alexander. Coach, we made it through the regular season, 10-0. How about that?
Well, Charlie, it was a goal of our team, but it was kind of way down the list a little bit. You don't expect that. You just expect your kids to freaking learn and get better. And wow, they just kept raising the bar every week. And what a great accomplishment by these young men.
And you kind of look through it, and you see this a lot in college games or college seasons where you have the number one team, whether it's Alabama or OU or whatever, and there's usually a game in there somewhere where they kind of stub their toe. They might not lose, but they don't play very well. And what's been impressive about this Broken Arrow team is that there really hasn't been any of those. The games that, as we kind of got through the season that were supposed to be mismatches, for lack of a better term, were. It just kind of came out and executed, and it's just been impressive all season.
Well, Charlie, you're exactly right. And as a coach, as the coaching staff, we talked about it. We kind of expected some of those letdowns, and we never had one. Our first game where we were really kind of big time, expected to win the football game. I told my coaching staff on the headset before the game, we're going to learn about our kids right now. It was a West Side trip. Man, they got off the bus.
It was Norman, wasn't it?
It was Norman, and they played fast. And we just rock and rolled all the way through it. And that this senior group, it's really a credit to that leadership group, and not letting everybody take a week off or a practice off or a drill off. The senior group has been special.
Very businesslike. It's kind of it's not there are no wide eyes. It's not we're 6-0 or we're 8-0 or we just beat Jinx. Well, of course we just beat Jinx. Like we're better than them. And that's been interesting to watch because not every team has that, and not every Broken Arrow team has had that. Yeah,
no other Broken Arrow teams had it. You expect, oh my gosh, look what we just did. And you've seen teams do that. I've seen teams do that. Look what we did, right? And kind of rest on those laurels. But this team has gone out and with the mindset, okay, how much better can I get in this Wednesday's practice? What new records can we break? Friday night or some Thursday nights, right? How can we do this? And so. We just keep pushing the envelope a little bit. We keep raising the bar, and all right, man. Now we're in the playoffs. The expectation level is what the expectation level is.
Tigers hosting the Moore Lions in the 6A1 quarterfinals. That game will be Friday night, 7 o'clock at Tiger Field. Got confused there, Tiger Field. I call it the Woodshed, but we'll call it Tiger Field at Memorial Stadium. Moore 5-5 on the year, coming off a big 76-0 win over Enid on senior night. I mean, we knew senior night was going to be special for a number of reasons, but holy smokes.
Well, Enid's down a little bit, and we suited up 120 players. We tried to play them all. You don't expect it to go 76-0. But honestly, the offense had the ball. I think it was 1 or 2 plays in the second quarter, and we scored 21 points defensively in the second quarter. It just kind of got away real quick. We actually had, we played 4 or 5 tailbacks. We had a freshman come in and break off 2 long touchdown runs. So a lot of fun. I'm really glad we got to celebrate the seniors and let them play and then get out of the game and have a big win.
The story of the game, of course, Noah Cortez breaking Jamal Shaw's career rushing record, and the way he did it, too. An 80-yard run. I think he needed 65 or so, and he picks up 80 and just – classic Noah.
Well, doing it in style. I love that he scored a touchdown on it for him. That just really a way to cap it off. Personally as a coach, man, I like to see a nice 15 or 20-yard run, get tackled. We could have called timeout and have him slowly walk off the field and kind of celebrate that with the crowd. But, I'm sure in his heart he wanted to score a touchdown on his record-breaking run, so it was pretty cool.
And his teammates wouldn't have let him live it down if he got caught from behind.
Well, that's true. Once he broke out in the open field, his teammates would have not let him live it down, and I don't think anybody from Enid was going to be able to catch Noah that night.
Coach Wilkinson has that unofficial rule: if you get tackled inside the 5,
that's right. You don't get to score.
You don't get a score. So we might have to make an exception for the record holder, but you never know. 10-0, heading into the playoffs this week. You get that extra rest day. It's been kind of weird because you've had 3 Thursdays in a row. So is it almost unique getting back to a Friday night game?
It is unique, and I warned the team on the weekend on Saturday. This week's going to feel long because it's been such a long time since we've had a full Wednesday practice, right, and then game prep on Thursday. So it's going to feel a little weird, but again, I don't think this is any hurdle that the kids aren't ready to jump over. Playoffs, right? All this is bonus time right now. You're only guaranteed 10 games and 30 practices. So let's go take advantage of this.
Absolutely. The Tigers and more coming up in the 6A1 quarterfinals. We'll take a timeout and look back at a 76-0 win over Enid. This is Inside Tiger Football presented by Rib Crib.
The Tigers of 1929 tied for the Oil Valley Conference lead with rival Bixby Spartans. Broken Arrow's only loss coming at the hands of the Spartans, who finished their schedule with 2 ties and no losses. Apparently, Bixby wanted no more of our Tigers that year, as they refused a challenge from Broken Arrow after the season to play off the tie. This great moment in Tiger history is brought to you by First National Bank of Broken Arrow, a loyal fan of our community for over 100 years. First National Bank of Broken Arrow, the right balance.
My dad's always saying a little extra effort now will really pay off later. Here's how you can put in just a little extra effort and help out our schools in a big way. Just switch your checking account to TTCU. It's easy. You get $150 just for switching. And every time you use your school Pride card, TTCU donates to our schools. So far, over $1 million. They're the only ones doing that. So make the switch to TTCU and be the person who's making a difference for our schools.
Inside Tiger Football presented by Rib Crib is also brought to you in part by TTCU Federal Credit Union, First National Bank of Broken Arrow, St. John Broken Arrow, Tulsa Bone and Joint, the Arrow Group, and Matthews Ford. Charlie Hannema and Coach David Alexander back here with you, looking back at a 76-0 win over Enid last week on senior night. Got started early.
Right.
Second drive of the game, technically this time, but
Sure.
we talked about the record breaker. Noah Cortez gets loose on the right side, and it was history from there.
Well, Noah has been our emotional leader. He brings energy to practice. All the kids, everybody follows him and loves him. And so we all wanted the record, right? Everybody, from the coaches down to Noah. It was fantastic. They did it on a big 80-yard run to get the game started.
Then defense gets the ball back. You take over at the 23.
Yeah.
Just need one play. Trayvon Client, touchdown catch, and you blink and it's 14-0.
Yeah, Trayvon, the grinder we call him, because that's all he talks about. I'm out there grinding, and he was really rewarded with a couple touchdowns, and he deserved them. He's blocked and really played well all season.
Then you get the ball back again, and it's Kaiser Newell on a bootleg, and it's a 9-yard touchdown catch. But again, it's just a 26-yard drive. Field position with your defense was huge.
Well, I saw somebody gave me a stat about our defense and how many 3 and outs they've had this season. That's pretty incredible. And if you have a field position like that with our offense, it's going to be a touchdown.
And then you get the ball back again, and it's a touchdown. It's called back on the first play of the drive. And it's another touchdown on the first play of the drive. So it's Client again. That time it was from Cherry, and there were some great downfield blocks on that one too.
Oh, man. Little swing pass out to, Cherry gets a long stat, but it's really just a 1-yard throw. Trayvon's buddies out there, Matt Kaiser and Logan Matthews and Isaiah Keller out there blocking for him, and he breaks a tackle and scores a touchdown.
28-0 after the first quarter, and that's the offense. And then the second quarter, kind of just a whole bunch of weird stuff. Stat-wise, it looks like Enid's kind of putting together a little drive here, and you say, hey, look at this. They're playing a sophomore quarterback. It was just his second varsity start, and then gets down to the goal line and telegraphs one. And you can't do that against Tricky Stokes.
You can't do that against Tricky. And, the most impressive thing about Tricky right there on that play was, a lot of high school corners, you get into a routine of backpedaling a certain distance, being a certain distance off a receiver. But Tricky stopped his backpedal when his heels hit the goal line. So as soon as his heels hit the goal line, he knows, right? He's got the help behind him and jumps in front, and no one is going to catch Tricky.
99-yard interception return, a school record for the longest interception return. And then next touchdown, kind of defense. It's technically special teams, but that's defense again. Marcus Selly blocks a punt. And it just really snowballed.
Yeah, it really got out of hand right there real quick. Touchdown, and just a few seconds really running off the clock. Zach Marcaselli's he's very explosive. I think Gavin Potter got the block punt. Zach Marcaselli picked it up. Our two stud outside linebackers, and no one obviously he's almost as fast as Tricky on the team, and no one's going to obviously catch Zach.
Those guys have been close to blocking a ton of punts this season.
Yes.
So
and Gavin got his hands on 2 punts this week. So special teams player of the week for Gavin Potter.
then you get a little tricky, mix it up with big fella Andrew Raymond there, the fullback dive touchdown. How fun was that?
It was big time. We've been practicing that a couple of weeks. He had a deal with Coach Wilkinson to do it last week if we ever got the ball inside the 5 against Ed Memorial. We never did. So first time we got the ball, it was set up inside the 5-yard line. Had to get the big fella involved. It was great. A lot of, all the linemen, everybody loved it. And obviously Andrew, big man, 300 pounds rolling downhill.
I know you were center most of the
Right.
time, so never obviously the chance to carry the ball. But as an offensive lineman, what would that have been if you can think back to what that would have been like?
Man, I don't even know
Would you have trusted yourself with the ball?
No, I would have never trusted myself. I don't know any idea how that would have felt. Andrew's such an athlete for a man his size. They put me at center when I started playing in 4th grade, and I played up until I was in my 30s at center. So I never got to carry the ball, and I don't think I would have done very well.
And then it's so it's 49-0 at the half. Second half, it's Campbell Yeager picks off an interception that's just kind of like it's almost like it hung up there, and he just snatched that down. And then it really kind of got fun. The freshman Marion Horn snapped off 2 out of the last 3 touchdowns. Keon Barnett got the other one, but. Tell me about Horn. I know the coaches have been kind of watching him in the was he playing JV or was he just playing 9th grade games?
He was just playing 9th grade games. We've got a couple freshmen that we suited up for that last game. He and Jadean Wright. We'd heard about Marion Horn, what great vision and great speed he has. He's going to play basketball. I think Coach Wallace is going to pull him up to the varsity, that's kind of the rumor as soon as football's over. He's got unbelievable tools. He's tall, but right now he's splinter thin. So we're going to get him on a meat diet, protein diet here as soon as we can, and put some weight on him. But he's got a chance to be special.
Cody Ellett can change that in no time. Yeah. All right. Well, 76-0 win for the Tigers over Enid. Caps off a 10-0 regular season. Let's take a timeout here at Inside Tiger Football presented by Rib Crib. Noah Cortez, who else would be our guest in our player segment? That's coming up after this.
In the folded flag, we see the heavy price of freedom. Nearly 9 out of 10 dependents of America's fallen and disabled soldiers do not qualify for federal scholarship assistance. The Folds of Honor closes that gap, already providing over 10,000 scholarships. Join us in this noble mission. Donate today at foldsofhonor.org. This is your call to duty.
My kids had just recovered from being sick, and I found myself sick. And it was time for me to get the care that I needed, and I didn't want to get the kids out of the house, so I used St. John On Demand.
St. John Clinic On Demand is our innovative 24/7 virtual care clinic. It's accessible from your phone, from a tablet, or from your computer anytime.
I registered for the appointment on my phone and visited with a provider and had a prescription called in for me all within an hour.
So the type of patient that would use this service is someone that has a minor illness. Angela's case is a perfect use of our services. We came to her in her time of need versus her having to come for us.
St. John On Demand is such a great alternative to loading the kids up, getting them to the doctor's office, waiting in the waiting room. So now I'm healthy, my kids are healthy, and I will definitely use St. John On Demand again.
Welcome back to Inside Tiger Football presented by Rib Crib. Time now for our player segment. And who else would join us this week but now the all-time leading rusher in Broken Arrow school history, Noah Cortez. Thanks for being here again, brother.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Just take me back to last week, Thursday, that run you snap on the far side and just everything that came after that, breaking the school record.
Right when I hit that edge, I put in my head, I was like, I'm not getting caught. Well, I kind of got caught at the end, but like right when I hit that edge, I was like, I'm going to score this touchdown. I'm going to get this record right here. So it was just having my O-line block for me and, man, the best O-line in the state, and just having my brothers behind me getting that record. It's not just my record, it's for them too. And without them, I wouldn't be able to do nothing. So
We always talk about that, but
Right.
so many of your runs, you break free, and it's almost jarring watching from up top because the hole shouldn't be that big normally, and all of a sudden there you go. I mean, like half your touchdowns this year, Coach and I always talk like, I don't think anybody touched him on half the touchdown runs. What's that view like this year? You know, in the backfield when all of a sudden you're about to hit this hole and you look up and all it is green.
Just running through that hole and just seeing that hole open, it's just amazing, really. I love that feeling. There's no better feeling than that.
Coach, a couple times we've had guards pull in, and sometimes they end up blocking in the hole because there's nobody there, and no one kind of has to cut around or get them out of the way.
Yeah, I can remember a couple of those. Just some of those happened down the goal line, but we had the one in Yukon where the guards out there standing in the hole, and we're all on the sidelines, Galloway, right? And Noah runs past him, but that's a credit. That credit goes to everybody, right? And Noah mentioned it's not just his record. It is his record, but the offensive line, the receivers, the whole offense, and the coaching staff are taking a lot of pride in it, right? We've all worked, and we're all really happy for Noah. I mean, his name goes in the record book, but we're all really, really proud of his accomplishment.
3,925 yards and counting with a handful of games left. Just obviously you had to play a lot of games to get numbers like that. Just kind of take me through your career from sophomore year to junior year to now, where you think you've improved the most, kind of year by year.
I'd probably say from sophomore year to last year, probably my vision, and from my junior to senior year, probably my speed and strength. Really, my speed's gotten a lot faster since. Yeah, last year I'd get caught behind, but this year I don't think I can get caught behind.
Coach, we've talked about this a lot. I mean, in sophomore year, we'd watch him, and man, it's just a tough runner.
Right.
But it was almost like, I'm just gonna run you over, and then we'll figure it out as we go.
He's developed his skills, but his number one skill that he came in with as a sophomore was his toughness, right? And that's something a coach cannot teach. Okay, so if he's got that, right, then we were able to work with him. And he became a starter about 3 minutes into the first game of the year, his sophomore year, and so we knew what we had. After that game, we knew we had a really, really tough kid that loved his teammates, and we could work with that. And then, like you said, he's developed his skills, his vision, his understanding of everything that's going on, right, where the blocks are coming from. And then, like you said, he hasn't been caught from behind this year, and I don't expect the rest of the season he's going to get caught from behind.
How's your freshness coming through the season? Because I know we've had a few games where you've been able to rest a little bit. I think back to the guys from Enid and their tailback. Phillips was up to 220-something carries on the season. He was carrying the ball 35 times last week, and luckily, we've been able to give you a little bit of rest as we come down to the playoffs here.
Yeah, man, my legs are fresh and I'm ready to go. I'm ready for a big load this week and the rest of the playoffs. So,
yeah, what did I tell you yesterday? Right, we come out of meetings. I said, hey, right, you should be ready to go. Expect 30 carries the next three weeks. Right, so it would be nice to get him some more carries, but really, no reason to. Those last 3 or 4 games have been in hand, so let's get him rested up, get him ready for this ride, and we'll saddle him up and take him into the playoffs.
Well, it was this round of the playoffs last year against Northern North where you did just that. I think it was 302 yards or 303 yards. I think was the official total, and I mean it's kind of easy. Calling plays when you've got a guy like this, you can just feed it to that many times.
Well, it is easy, right? And we have our staff meetings on the weekends. Tell Coach Wilkinson, what do we want to do? Hey, in a pressure situation, right? Let's get the ball in our best players' hands, right? The guys that have given the most, right? And we're going to go live and die with that. So, I hope that Noah doesn't have to have 31 or 41 carries this week in the first round of the playoffs. But if that's what it takes, then that's what he's going to get.
175 carries on the year, 1,440 yards, 39.25 the career total for Noah Cortez so far. 46 touchdowns, not bad. I mean, how closely do you follow those numbers other than when I tell them to you or when Coach tells them to you?
I don't really pay attention to them, honestly, because I just try to focus on the end goal, and that's to get a gold ball. So, and if we just keep doing what we're doing, all the numbers will fall into place, and God will take care of all of that. So I just worry about it what I can control, and that gold ball and everything else will fall into place.
What's this year been like for you personally? I mean, I know homecoming king here at school, but Are people starting to notice around town when you go walk around, especially with, the Tigers being 10-0 and you kind of being the face of the team?
Yeah, it was kind of funny. The other day I went to my sister's cheer competition up here at the high school, and some random guy came up to me and asked for a picture with his little daughter with me and asked to sign something. So it's just pretty cool knowing that I'm known around the town. So it's just a blessing, really.
And Coach, you've been there, so you can kind of relate to that kind of attention and just what does that mean for a high school kid?
Well, it's a little breath, taken back, when you're 17, 18 years old, and you've got people asking for autographs. But the guys that are the face of our team, right? The Matt Kaisers and the Andrew Rames and the Slushers and the D'Amicos and all those guys, those seniors that have really put in all that time. And they've all got high character kids, right? They're all high character kids, so they know. We're blessed and we're honored to be representing our school and our community. We're the lucky 120 athletes that get to play football at Broken Arrow. So it comes with a responsibility, right? You have to understand who you are, and everybody in town knows who you are, and so you have to go out and represent the Broken Arrow.
And as a coach, you have to love that guys are noticing your players and coming up and wanting pictures with little kids and autographs and the whole deal, as opposed to that guy's got a football sweatshirt on, but whatever.
We love it, right?
Yeah.
That's what we've strived for since I got here, right? And that's what every coach strives for, to have a team of players that have accomplished things that everybody's noticed, right? To have young men like Noah go out in the community and people see them and know who they are. And when they say stuff in the newspaper or on TV, right, they represent us with the message that the coaches and the school sends out. And it's so gratifying, and I'm really humbled by the way Noah and all these seniors really carry themselves.
Talking with Noah Cortez on Inside Tiger Football, and I know you guys don't go ones versus ones, full tackle a whole lot in practice and stuff, but let's talk about this defense a little bit. Who's the toughest guy out there? Who would you least like to, you probably wouldn't shy away from anybody.
Yeah, he's not scared of anybody, but, right.
Who's the leader out there on defense? Who are you trying to make sure that you go around or avoid?
Honestly, I'm not really. I don't think anyone can really bring me down one-on-one. But honestly,
who hits the hardest?
I'd probably say Gavin Potter or Zach Marcaselli. It's between them two, really.
What's it been like just watching Gavin grow? Because obviously he worked with you guys on offense the past couple of years, and then he switches over to defense, and it's not just like, hey, we're going to give this defense a try. He's one of the best players on that side of the ball.
Yeah, Gavin stepped it up for sure this year. I'm proud of that kid for sure. He's an amazing kid, and all the offers he's getting right now and all the shine, he deserves all of it. He works hard, and he for sure deserves it.
And Coach, that's just what you need on a successful team. I mean, you have Noah doing his part, willing to do whatever he needs, and you've got guys that hey, if we're throwing the ball well and he doesn't need to get 300 yards, that's fine, and if he does need to get 300 yards, he can.
Well, and great programs are built on guys that come in and as a senior, right, and get big and decide, hey, I want to be the man as a senior, right? And we've got a lot of those seniors that's their first time starting, right? You got Gavin, you've got defensive end Colton Collier, right? You've got an offensive tackle Tyler Siebert that they sat around till their senior year and waited their turn, got big as heck in the weight room, really dedicated themselves to their senior year, and that's how you win. That's you have to have your superstars, you have to have your guys that have been playing, the Noah Cortezes, but you have to have those guys that love Broken Arrow, and Gavin's one of those kids.
Love it. Noah, thanks for the time. Noah Cortez is getting $25 as Rib Crew for being our guest on Inside Tiger Football, and we'll take a timeout. Coach Alexander and I will break down the Moore Lions, our quarterfinal opponent, after this.
The 1982 Pride of Broken Arrow Marching Band had a spectacular and rewarding year. Led by senior drum major Paul Gerder and junior drum major Mindy Denton, the Pride and its members practiced relentlessly with the utmost determination and won the sweepstakes of the Midwest Championship in the Colorado Marching Band competition, which was truly a great honor and led many to declare the Pride the grandest band in the land. This great moment in Tiger history is brought to you by First National Bank of Broken Arrow, a loyal fan of our community for over 100 years. First National Bank of Broken Arrow, the right balance.
My name is Abigail Bailey. I was at my yearly checkup when I was 12, and we went and got x-rays, and she diagnosed me with scoliosis and that we needed surgery as soon as possible.
Tulsa Bone and Joint was very compassionate. They took their time with us. They answered questions. He was very encouraging.
Dr. Clark helped me see that there is life after spinal fusion. Just because your spine is fused doesn't mean that you can't do what you love to do.
Welcome back to Inside Tiger Football, presented by Rib Crib. Quick final segment here with Coach Alexander. The Moore Lions come to town Friday night, 5-5 on the year. They did snap off a 43-31 win over Owasso 2 weeks ago, so a little bit of spunk there, but what have you seen from them?
Yeah, they have an offense that will give us a little bit of issue. You know, they've got a great quarterback that likes to run around and make plays. They'll try to muddy up the game on their offense. And what I mean by that is, you know, they're not going to give you a bunch of simple reads and simple keys. They don't do anything traditional. So it's going to be tackle the quarterback. If we can tackle the quarterback, then I think defensively we'll be okay. You know, offensively, it's going to be the same old deal, right? We're going to throw the ball deep, and we're going to hand the ball to Noah Cortez.
Not bad.
Not bad. It's good. It's been good for us so far.
You got about 30 seconds left. Just how do you balance the preparation in playoffs when you've got semifinals, finals down the road? Do you just coaching just go one game at a time here with who's in front of you, or I mean, coach-wise, are you guys in the room working on?
Well, great question. You know, the week before the playoffs started, right, when we were getting ready for Enid, we were working on multiple opponents. We were working on Moore. We were working on Owasso. Those seemed like the two most likely opponents. We were doing a little bit of work on future down the road. You know, once we got to this week, once we started Monday, it's Moore all the way, right? And then we get to Saturday, we'll have done some work on who we think our second round opponent's going to be from the previous week before, right? So we'll be able to pick up where that left off, and then it'll be all that week working on the semifinal opponent.
All right, Coach, thanks for the time. Again, Broken Arrow and Moore, Friday night, 7 o'clock at the Woodshed. All veterans get in free with the guest as long as you show that military ID. Everybody else, $7. Love to see you at 7 o'clock Friday night. For Sean Hill, Greg Spencer, Terry Sprider, and our entire crew, this is Charlie Hannema saying good night from Broken Arrow.